Sirenicide is made possible by Atrium Dynamics and by monthly financial support from listeners like you.
What's up, everybody? It is the 3-year birthday of Sirenicide. Yippee! You guys ready?
Cumpleaños.
I hear vibrating.
For excitement.
So here we go.
That's exciting.
So everybody loosely knows the story that we were a band and then turned into a podcast. So instead of telling that boring bullshit for the 19th millionth time, we thought we would instead talk about some stuff on our 3-year anniversary, focus on some different topics. But before we do any of that, let's introductions are in order. Ooh. So let's go around the table, starting with the Ashworths.
What's up?
And who do you play? Who are you?
I'm Mervyn Ashworth, and I play Harper Powers.
I'm Christina, and I play Vima and other things.
And then let's move over to Des, our lore master.
Hi, I'm Desdemona, and I play background characters.
She does some stuff in season 4. We just can't spoil it.
Right. I mean, there's still background characters, you know. I tell people not to punch each other.
And then the man in the middle of our Google Hangout here, who we got?
Joe, he's meaning you, Joe.
Joe, that's it, Joe. Joey.
Oh. I'm sorry, I am not in the middle on my screen. Okay, so I'm Joe.
Hi, Joe.
I'm Joe.
Hi, Joe.
And I play Matthew Finnis.
Who?
And,
Hi, Joe.
I play Joey Trauma and Matthew Finnis.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Are those the same? Spoilers. Spoilers for season 1, episode 1 through mini episode 38. All right, continue.
It's two different characters, man.
That's
You know
true.
what you're talking about.
They really are two different people.
Yeah.
To be further explored. And his arch nemesis is on the line.
I'm Eddie. I play Eddie Vile, and I hate Matthew Finnis.
Don't we all?
I know I do.
All right. And on our side, go ahead. Ladies first.
Hi guys, it's Amy.
I play Johnny Stitches.
He did say ladies first, so there you go.
I didn't know Amy was Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I knew that was going to happen.
Is Johnny Molly?
What?
Anyway, I'm sorry.
And I am the voice of Margaret Sharp.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Who's
Who the
that?
hell's Margaret?
Reporting live, I'm...
Hey, Margaret.
Molly Needle?
Beep, beep. Who's got the keys to the Jeep? All right, so. You like Missy Elliott? All right. My name's Johnny, and I play Marty. Our,
Marty voice.
the doors are open. Please extend your hand. Oh. You can be the Kinnison guy. Do I have to? Yes. All right. So now that that's out of the way, let's take a look into the past again. So everybody knows that Eddie, Joey, Johnny, we were all members of Sirenicide, but let's talk about the other people here and go around how you guys came into the fold of this disease.
I'm like a tumor from birth. I won't go away. No, I knew Johnny from a long time ago, all the way back to, oh God, 6th grade. So,
Long story short,
yeah, we've known each other for a long fucking time.
Then you set it up like you're gonna like.
yeah, he's gonna go off.
You guys ready for the 3-hour epic on our 3-year birthday?
Oh yeah,
Oh, this is a 10-hour live feed, by the way.
But yeah, we got the same birthday.
And then he was part of the podcast. That was it. What about you,
That's
Christine?
it.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
She married me.
I married him. I married Harper, and then this guy Johnny Stitches like, hey, let's do a podcast. And I was like, sure, that'd be fun.
What about you?
Well, I've always kind of been in the background of it. And eventually I was like, hey guys, I totally could be creative and stuff. Right? Okay, cool. And then I never got to do any side voices because I was told my voice is too distinct. So the whole time in like season 1, I got one part and I got to be in the theme song. That was all I ever got to do, and I was really mad because everyone else got to try voices and I did not.
So how many characters have you played since?
The Wraith?
The Wraith. Oh, I did a 911 operator.
Oh yeah.
That's because we were.
They still kind of all sound like Molly though. All right. Desdemona, how did you get involved with our shit show?
So as I said on Facebook not too long ago, I was going to this No Sleep live show, and this weird guy handed me a CD.
Which random guy? There was like 4 of us.
I don't know.
Well, it definitely wasn't me.
It was definitely a guy.
I handed out one, and it went to a chair.
Whoever's sincere.
And they were like, listen to this stuff. And I was like, all right. And then I looked at it like a year later.
Didn't someone scare you then too?
Oh no, that was the year later.
Oh, that was the next one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And then this guy was behind me and he screamed bloody murder. And so, yeah.
That was our live show.
And then I finally listened and I was like, oh, okay, I'll be a patron. I'll give them $1 a month. And then that weird guy that was handing out the CDs was like, hey, you should come help us do things.
All right. That's cool. That's a lot more interesting than the dumb band story.
Yeah, no one cares about band.
Yeah. The what?
There was a band?
You made music?
Yeah, dude, we covered the Power Rangers theme.
Oh, yeah.
Go Power Rangers.
All right. So, any birthday party wouldn't, be complete unless we had some birthday wishes. So, going around the table, what's some birthday wishes for the show for the next year from you guys?
Man, I just want people to like it. We put a lot of work into this thing, and I like seeing like the stuff on Facebook and the groups and stuff, and people asking questions, and it's coming to an end for kind of, and I guess bittersweet because I know it's just gaining traction. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
hey, if you guys, you know what you got to do if you want to keep hearing this.
Yep.
So.
As far as the Patreon goal, we are officially today at 50, 46 away from our goal to maintain like the minimum cost to have actors and servers and websites and not have to do the production on every single show.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll go next since I'm already talking. My wish for the show is not just to hit like the Patreon goal because that'd be really cool. But I do want to see it evolve more into the newer mediums coming into next year about the role-playing game that we're going to be doing on Twitch and Mixer and some other outlets and those kind of things. I can't wait to take it from just concept form and work it into it coming out. So my wish, if I had to blow out my candles for the 3-year birthday party for the Sirenicide podcast, is to watch it grow and bloom into newer media.
Yeah.
My birthday wish would be fortune and glory.
That it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I just really want this thing to blow up and be awesome, like I know it is.
I second that one.
Yeah, it would be cool to see everybody keep doing creative things and keep creating things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to really, really enjoy this upcoming 2020 with the whole entire live RPG.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool to, I guess, thematically grow the universe through like a public forum and those kind of things, like actually expand upon the lore and all that in a whole nother way. Of course, those stories aren't going to be canon, but they'll still be fun to play.
I know someone that's really excited to play, and that's my brother.
Nice. All right. What you got, Christina?
I guess I'll go. My birthday wish is what I'm always imagining in my head, that the show actually becomes like an actual TV series. That would be pretty awesome, because I see like each episode and I envision everything. I'm like, wouldn't this be awesome if you could just watch it?
So you want that to happen like this year? That takes a long time, dude.
I'm not
Netflix
saying it
now.
happen now.
Preliminary
Wish.
preliminary talks and negotiation.
Hey, it's Lucasfilm.
You never know. I'm just saying. Don't mess with my wish.
I wasn't going to tell y'all, but I'm in the talks with Netflix right now. You know?
See, like a Netflix series.
So-
You never know.
Yeah, screw that. Go with
That's
Hulu.
what
Why is everybody harping on my wish?
did Bill Burr say? Netflix will fucking make anything as long as it's got a pulse.
See? There you go.
Checking for a pulse.
That's true. That's our first level. Just $1.
It just has to feel warm. All right.
Anybody else?
Amy?
My 3-year birthday wish for this, as we are moving into our season 4, is I think for just the universe to keep expanding. Originally creating this, kind of coming into it, it's just opened up this whole new, like, different world for people to expand into, and I'm really excited for that to keep growing.
Me too.
I so did not just want to bust out into a song.
More stories.
More stories. All right. Is that it? All right. Cake sliced. Okay, so
Flavor is it?
without spoiling anything, season 4, what's your guys' pulse on this stuff so far? What do you guys think? You think everybody's gonna be excited?
OMG.
How do we say this without spoiling something?
All I gotta say is,
Oh, I love it when the blank
And
does
the
the blank
blank.
and the blank
Don't
dies.
mention the blanks, guys.
Oh, God, and the blanky.
Oh, you know how long it took for the blanks?
Those blanks.
I'm really looking forward to hearing myself do that thing that I did.
I can tell you from this side of the table, we're so tired of hearing that thing you did. Because we're editing the shit out of it.
I'm tired of hearing everybody's things that they did.
Right. But in
I'm
reality,
done.
I am really excited to see how people react to what we've done in season 4.
I really hope, and of course, the umpteen thousand people plus that hopefully will listen to this and not just skip it in the feed when it comes out, is gonna hear it and really take it to that next step. Because I think season 4, I was thinking today, I was like, wow, we hit the Patreon where we're more than halfway there. And it's like, but this season's not even out yet. I mean, when season 3 launched, we had like 12 Patreon supporters. So, I mean, just people going through the backlog and catching up has garnered so much support. And I think season 4 is really going to fucking blow the roof off of it. Not only that, I mean, the merchandise, and a lot of that thanks to Des, has really stepped up. Like the stuff we have for sale, the Patreon perks that people are getting on the tiers is just, it's not, I mean, when we originally started, it's like, if you join this tier, you get a Q&A. You join this tier, you'll get to see a behind the scenes video. And now we're giving out coffee mugs and freaking framed glass pictures and hoodies and freaking bags and all sorts of stuff, depending on, where you, I mean, that's really cool. Cause I saw so many other Patreons like doing that. I'm like, man, I can't wait till we can get to that point. And we're to that point now. And I think that, that's really cool. And it's not just like tacky, here's our fucking show art thrown on a shirt and that's it. Like everything's got some kind of personalized touch to it, which is really cool. Like everything feels unique that you can get for joining.
Yeah.
Because like that coffee mug, you can't buy that on the store. You have to get that through Patreon.
I love that coffee mug.
Me too.
But and it's worth it. I mean, those people are putting their money where their mouth is, and without them, we couldn't be talking right now and pushing that out through our server and getting it out to everybody. I mean, PBS. All right. So with all that being said, there are a few thank yous I want to go through on this third year anniversary of the show. First off, and most importantly, again, the patrons. I mean, without the patrons, what do we do? And I can't, I don't want to name drop the 50 people because this thing could literally go into like midnight just talking about each one of them and things they've done. And I don't want to completely highlight one over the other. So, but first on the list, without a doubt, without them, we don't exist because we don't have the download numbers consistently like 20 or 30,000 a month to get like big badass advertisers. So they literally keep us going. That and our amazing creative team that you're listening to right now. Without all of us, the show doesn't exist. That being said,
Really smart.
I want to do a special shout out to Duncan McPherson.
Woo, Duncan.
Duncan has joined on. He's actually, what's funny is we're recording this and I can see our Dropbox keeps updating 4-8. So that's cool. He's fucking working on 4-8 right now, episode 8, season 4. So that's really cool. Duncan is the host of Game of Microphones podcast, and he is most commonly known as the voice of Malik Husto, the mayor of Morston, but he has really come through in the clutch for us here at the end and I just want to personally thank him right here so everybody can hear it. Speaking of also production, we had Vincent from here in the local Houston metal scene, and we've talked about him in the past before when he produced the episodes, but I just want to, when looking back over these past 3 years and think, with Little Wolf Moon and Lady Wolf Moon, his production work on that was just fucking there, man. Those 2 episodes are awesome. And I remember me and Eddie Vile went out to his house and was like showing him all the different things that we got to go through and setting them all up with that. So that was really cool because without this podcast, it would have just been some guy that played bass that hung out with us at some metal shows that we probably would never talk to again except for on Facebook or something like that here and there in passing. But instead, it created a whole nother avenue to friendship. David Cummings and the No Sleep podcast. I mean, that's the kind of, he's the podfather for a reason. He let us open up for the No Sleep podcast last year, and that was an epic experience. The No Sleep community has always been a very supportive community of our show and helping it grow. So I can't look back on these past 3 years with this amazing team and think how much less we would have as far as listenership if it wasn't for those guys. So credit where credit is due. David is amazing, and so is his team. Speaking of No Sleep extinctions, Mr. John Grills of the Creepy Podcast, the voice of Doc, or how are we calling this now? The voice of present day Doc, because we have Kevin Crow doing 1800s Doc, and then me doing 55 BC Doc. But anyway, Doc is a body jumper, but the most commonly known one is Spoilers, the one that helps bring the storm into the world. Into season 2. Then Jessica McAvoy originally just from the No Sleep podcast, voice of Lena, and then turned out to be an exceptional part of helping with our story and editing all of our awfully typed scripts, especially mine. So I can't thank her enough for being there for us in the beginning, starting with us at the end of season 2, and all through all those many episodes between 2 and 3, and all of 3, and then all the many episodes from 3 to now, and then Katie Burr from Southern Gomorrah. I wanted to thank her because she wrote an episode of the show, which was really cool. She did an episode, The Great Fire New Aurelius, season 3, episode 11.
Yes.
Right? Okay, cool. Michael Stein of Dark Tranquility. I mean, I thought it'd be a dream come true for the band to like open up for them, and that was. But then to have him like join in on our art that was one of those big ass milestones. And staying across the pond and in the great land of the Swedes, we had Nicholas England of Gardenia, one of my favorite bands growing up, lending his song and his support for the Heartless and for Molly Needles episode.
Yes.
So that was really fucking cool. I want to thank Victor King, one of my favorite No Sleep authors, most famously known for the author of The Good Thomas Shea, for writing Right Next to You, mini episode 7. That was awesome. And then Christina Nichols started out as just a voice actress that we found on a forum that did some volunteer work for us and grew into a character, but has done, I don't think people realize she's about to really explode onto like the gaming voice acting scene. It's coming, and it's just really cool that she's a part of this like years before all that cracked open, and she's so supportive of it, and she's done so much work for us, way below industry rates and a lot of volunteer stuff. So thank you, Christina. And she's just an epic Star Wars fan, which is probably the coolest attribute of any person on existence. Right, Des? I'm just messing. Anybody's heard Dez's Ice episode? All right. And then Atticus Jackson has also done umpteen million voices for us at all basically free rates, and really helped the show out. And native Texan, and has did a really good two-parter Ice episode. Dan Lafette from Based on a True Story podcast. Fucking really big supporter. He's in our Patreon group now too. That's what's really cool, is it started out just, a couple of these are just voice actors and stuff like that. And then it's like they get pulled into the lore like, hey man, I want to make sure this keeps going. So that's really cool. Adam Harris, my neighbor across the street.
Yes.
Better known as Jimmy Hemorrhage. And and fucking he was at our live show, fucking looking sinister as hell.
Oh, he was so scary in that.
And then my other neighbor across the street, Troy, he's done a ton of like background characters, but he finally got like a lead debut in our most recent mini episode, right?
Yes, Dalton.
Yeah, our second 37, Emmy 37. Yeah, he's a theater owner. And then last but not least, and again, we could be here till midnight. I could keep thinking, but right now I want to bring up the Scary Dad podcast, because those guys, we found them at the second No Sleep show, just organizing and needing help with merch, and didn't even realize that they were a local Houston podcast. Been listening to them ever since. They've been on our show. We've been on their show, and we're going to be there September 28th and 29th, just a few weeks from now. So if you're in the Houston area or, close, come on out to a really cool Halloween convention. Stop by our table and say hi, and maybe we'll give you a special something if you bring this up. Hey, I was listening to your birthday, so where's my thing?
Swag.
So I know that's quite a few thanks. I hate to be so, long-winded with all of it, but I can't. I was just trying to think of like the last 3 years and what people have done for us, like above and beyond the Call of Duty. But all those folks aside, and all of our patrons aside, you in front of me right now, of course they can't see it because we're audio, but we're on Google Hangouts. If it wasn't for you guys, none of us would be. And I know working with me is like got to be the most annoying thing that's ever happened to you probably in your life.
No. Just thought it might make nails on a chalkboard sound pleasant.
It's not as annoying. I'll say this: it's not as annoying as actually working with you.
Doing a podcast, working with him, and being married to him.
Oh wow!
I'm sorry.
But you picked
I wonder why you have so many grays.
That's why I have so many grays working with him. I had to dye my hair blonde just to hide the grays.
Oh man.
It's been a fun adventure so far. I mean, we've met a lot of cool people. A lot of things have evolved, like Gus.
Yeah.
And him coming through here, and he still stops by and does some voices for us and things like that. So I just feel like there's been a lot of friendships and a lot of new people we've met.
Yep.
That have come through.
Definitely.
And,
all the good friends we made along the way.
Well, and it's
I love you guys.
it's crazy because like Brandon Greer, who has been doing some voice work for us in season 4, he just launched his little comedic podcast, codename Blank, and he's like, I just listened to Sirenicide and I thought, what if I could do something like that? And that is so like awesome.
That's awesome.
That you inspire that. And then the next one, just found out today, the guy that he played Ryan, older Ryan, he touched base with me. He's like, "Hey man, you wouldn't be upset if I started a horror podcast?" And I'm like, "No, man. Why would I be upset?" And he's like, "It's not gonna be like Sirenicide, but and I'm just so excited now. Like, I want to hear another like Native Houston's horror podcast now." And he's like, "If I wouldn't have came out there and done that, that wasn't on my even in my thought process at all." So
What, Matt Hughes? That we have the Matt Hughes minute in our Q&As?
yeah. And
That was hilarious. A little background music and everything.
his photo, man, was just priceless. But yeah, he's got his podcast. He's working on coming out with next year too, and he's
it's really cool to feel like you've inspired somebody to do something else and like create something.
Because I mean, that's what happened with us with like No Sleep and things like that. Listening to that, they're like, "Man, that'd be really cool to do something like that." So to know that we could be that for somebody else has just been an honor. That's pretty much all I got, man. Happy birthday to Sirenicide Serialized Horror Drama. Happy birthday. I guess I'm gonna do a birthday present for the listeners probably at the end of this live stream.
I was so excited. I thought I was getting a birthday present.
I know, right?
Hey, my birthday's next week.
Hey,
so, I mean,
while you're thinking of your birthday, you should stop by the Sirena store and pick you up some new merch. We got.
Guess what? My birthday is on Friday the 13th.
Oh.
I know.
Careful.
Oh yeah. Okay. So
Present man.
for the listeners. We're gonna. I'm gonna give a snippet of season 4 at the end of this.
What?
Now, there was like a little bitty snippet in the Q&A. So if you missed, if you're not paying attention out there in podcast land, we have just ramped up the Sirenicide YouTube. We're going to be doing weekly Q&As from now until we don't hit 96 patrons, and then we'll stop doing those real quick. But until at least till the end of season 4 and into the post season 4. Post season 4 also, don't hang up on the Sirenicide feed yet. We're going to be doing post intensive care episodes with Eddie Vile, Joey Trauma, because they'll be able to be completely spoiler filled all the way through the whole serialized series, retouching stuff with everybody that's on this call right now, plus people you haven't got to hear from yet that I wanted to schedule for before season 4 launch, but the more and more we got close, I'm like, no, let's wait. That way we can talk to them about when this happened. So it's going to be a really, really fun-filled postseason, and we'll be running Q&As all through that. If you're curious about getting your question answered by us on video, just go to Sirenicide YouTube, look at the Q&A video, go to the comments, and leave a question, and we'll answer it. If we don't get to yours in that video, we'll usually move it over to the next one, or we'll leave you a written response. Or you go to Patreon and you become a patron at least the $1 level, just the minimum level, and then those questions take priority. You can ask them right there on a Q&A feed on our Patreon page. And yeah, so those are your ways you can get involved with the Q&A. The Q&A was really fun. I love getting back into video editing because I haven't done that in so long. It's just been audio editing now. It feels like forever. But if you haven't checked out, our first one is live right now. So just when you're done listening to this, go check out our Q&A in the hot box. Sweaty. And I think without further ado, I guess let's wrap it up here. Just let people know, don't get down. I mean, even if we don't hit that, the 96 Patreon mark really keeps this feed alive. But there are things in the works. So don't give up on our brand of storytelling. Anyway, without that, happy birthday, Sirenicide. I can't believe you.
Happy birthday.
Turned into this.
It's a terrible 3.
Yeah, exactly. Terrible.
Now we're in the terrible.
Too pretty.
It's the terrible 2s.
Yeah. Oh no, we got hit by a hurricane during the
Oh yeah, the terrible 2s. We got hit by a hurricane.
All right. You guys got any final thoughts before we close it out?
No, senor.
Guys, it is if you're hearing this right now, it's September 8th, 2019, and that is the 3-year anniversary of Sirenicide. And that puts us 9 days out from the launch. Am I doing my math right? Yeah, of season 4.
Season one.
All starting from the beginning.
We're gonna start all over, and then you have to listen to it.
We're doing like a
Everything was a
marathon.
dream.
Start from the beginning. Go to sirenicide.com/archive.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Happy birthday to the show, and we'll see you guys. I think the next thing that will hit the feed live on this is episode 1. No more ice episodes. Well, until after the postseason. So the next thing you will hear is, can we tell them the name?
No.
What? The
No.
Name,
Yes,
the
yes,
name
yes,
of
yes.
season episode 1.
No.
if
What's
that's
the
the
name?
if that's the tease, maybe.
Yeah, sure. That's the gift that we're giving them.
We're
the
gonna
name
give them the
of
name and nothing else.
That's it.
I'm gonna give you both. Executive decision.
I think the name should be shared.
All right.
Rude.
So
Des is the nice one.
season 4 of the Sirenicide Serialized Podcast, episode 1. The Anathaphiend. All right, everybody. Later. Bye.
Ben? Man, you are burning up. Are you feeling okay?
I'm fine. I don't get sick anymore, but my temperature is always at 100 degrees. It has to do with the stuff the doctors injected me with. That's part of what cured me.
Part of what cured you? What was the other part?
Yeah.
Can we walk and talk about this? We're wasting time. I remember you being all over the news and watching that big TV interview thing you did with that doctor guy. The one who now hangs out with the mayor and fights in the street wars.
Dr. Laughlin.
Yeah, that's him. Man, that guy's not scared of anything. I saw him inject one of those flesh bots on the news, which made it appear out of nowhere, and then it boiled down to nothing except a metal shell.
Yeah, it's close to the same thing he used on my cancer, only the dead bots can't handle it since they already have the luminescence. So for them it's like a power overdose.
How do you know all of this?
Like I said, I don't go outside much, but I do read and research. A lot.
So, I've had another question that I wanted to ask you in class, but I never did because I didn't want to embarrass you.
Well, isn't that sweet? Well, you can ask him now. It's just us, the birds, and the trees, and the dirt, and the...
Your eyes, they're so blue, like neon blue. But I don't remember them being like that before you got sick. Like back in 6th grade?
Yeah, they were brown.
Oh.
It's a side effect of the drug.
Is your personality a side effect of the drug, too?
No, that comes from being in the dead realm for 3 days of my life.
The where?
The dead realm. It's where all the tortured souls go when death breaks the spirit with so much pain, it's to the point where not even heaven or hell will take them.
Whoa. But why?
Because those souls are damaged beyond God's abilities to repair them, and the devils can't control them, so they won't let them pass through.
If it's so bad in this dead realm, how did you come back? Huh?
Aiden, really? Why would he lie?
Because he likes you, duh. Just like this one does. You know what? Fuck you, dude. Oh, so it is true.
Aiden, please. Stop picking on everyone. We need to stick to the plan that we came up with, and we can't do that if everyone is upset.
The program that you're listening to on this feed is completely listener and creator funded. Hi, I'm Audio's Johnny Stitches, and I'd like you to help us keep the show alive. You can visit sirenicide.com/donations and take your choice of donating via a monthly contribution on a subscription level or
All elements of Sirenicide are copyright 2019 by Atrium Dynamics unless otherwise stated. Any duplication of this production without the secured written consent of Atrium Dynamics is strictly prohibited. Please visit Sirenicide.com for more details.